Father Frank and I begin to say, how are we going to reach African Americans? We don't need to think, Father Frank would say, that we need to bring them into our movement. We need to acknowledge that this movement belongs to everyone. The African American community is a vital part of the whole pro-life community. And so he said, Alveda, I tell you what, let's begin to go out and reach out to the community. Even if only one person shows up, we'll just go and talk to one person. And interestingly enough, the first meeting we had, only one pro-life African American came. But that soon changed, and Father Frank would go with me initially. And then he began to say, no, you've got this, go ahead. And I'd begin to be invited to speak at traditional, as I call them, pro-life events, speaking to the choir, so to speak. But then I'd say, I'll come to your community, but would you please invite the African American community? Let's have a little prayer breakfast. And we began to have those prayer breakfasts. And I began to meet other pro-life African Americans, and they began to come on board, and Father Frank and Janet would kind of talk to those and say, wow, we're with you. What can we do together? We ended up then with the pro-life freedom rides, and the African American community joining Father Frank, Janet, the pro-life community, and we get on a bus and go through the South, kind of like the pro-life freedom rides begin to be like the freedom rides of the 20th century, where we were going into territory, taking truth in a very dangerous setting. We, of course, didn't face guns and dogs and billy clubs, but we faced hostile, pro-choice people. And they'd be booing, and we'd be telling the truth, and people would come up and down the streets and say, no, these people are telling the truth. And so over the years, we have had pro-life freedom rides. The National Black Pro-Life Coalition has been formulated. We've done a book, Life at All Costs, in the National Black Pro-Life Coalition. Priests for Life often sits down with African American leaders and strategizing and working together. We have encouraged women and men to join now in the Silent No More awareness campaign. It's a crusade campaign, we call it both, but to just speak out and tell the truth. MAFA 21 with Life Dynamics is a powerful documentary that the African American community, led by the African American Outreach at Priest for Life. We have done many interviews and brought information across America, explaining to every member of the pro-life community and then people beyond that abortion also includes eugenics and genocide, targeting of Black people. And so we have grown from one or two people to over 30 members of the National Black Pro-Life Coalition, working very closely with African American Outreach at Priests for Life, Silent No More Awareness campaign. We're branching into having people have the courage to even seek abortion healing from Rachel's Vineyard. And so we were small in number, but we started out with one person attending our African American Outreach prayer breakfast. We've had over 100, 150, and that number is still growing. It's a very exciting experience working with Priests for Life. We're very grateful to the support that people give to Priests for Life, to Silent No More Awareness, Rachel's Vineyard. All of these programs are helping men and women across this nation to understand how harmful abortion is. And I'm very grateful, as the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., daughter of Reverend A.D. King, my mother Naomi, who is also pro-life, to have been selected, I think, by God to work in this outreach campaign.